Hi, this is Catherine Mendoza for RF Digital. Here are the differences between RFD21742 and RFD21743 RFDANTs. The RFD21742 and RFD21743 are 100% identical hardware. The only difference between the two is firmware loaded at the RF Digital factory. The RFD21742 is in compliance with CE, ETSI emission requirements and is not for FCC. The RFD21743 is in compliance with CE, ETSI emission requirements and is FCC certified and approved. The high performance of the RFDANT for FCC requires it to work in a 50% duty cycle mode, which means that when you are running it in its 9600 8-in-1 UART mode, you can send up to 24 bytes in a row, and then you must wait a minimum of 24 byte lengths, which is about 24 milliseconds before you send up to another 24 bytes. For example, you can also send 12 bytes, wait 12 milliseconds, and then send 12 bytes again, effectively yielding a 50% duty cycle. Note, this is only a transmit limitation with the RFDANT. It is not related to receive, so if you have an RFD21743 sending 100% duty cycle at full speed, you can receive that with either RFDANT and it will be fine. But when you go to transmit, if you are using the RFD21743, you will need to use a maximum of 50% duty cycle for the USA and FCC. However, when using the RFD21742, which is for Europe or the CE ETSI markets, there is no duty cycle limitation. That is the reason there are two part numbers for the RFDANT. The RFD21743 is 50% UART duty cycle for FCC, and the RFD21742 is CE and ETSI with 100% duty cycle. So if you plan on selling into the USA marketplace, then use the RFD21743. If you are Europe only, then you can use the RFD21742. Also, of course, you can use the RFD21743 for USA and Europe. If you are sending in switch mode using the RFD21742, it will send a new packet every 16 milliseconds, and the hang time for a switch receiver in mode 6 or 7 is 50 milliseconds. Where with the RFD21743, it will send a new packet every 24 milliseconds to work within the 50% duty cycle limit for FCC and IC. If you're in Canada, IC approval for the RFD21743, please contact sales@rfdigital.com. The impact with switch mode is hardly even noticed between RFD21743 and RFD21742. Most common applications are typically with burst data less than 24 bytes per burst, so the difference between the RFD21743 and RFD21742 is negligible. Nevertheless, the choice is still available for you, and they are for pin compatible. Once you test an RFDANT, you will be truly amazed with its performance. Go to www.rfdigital.com for more information.